Welcome to Pods with Posh and Pool, a podcast designed to inspire and challenge listeners through story, experience and insight. To face adversity, learn from suffering and discover how to embrace life with a heart filled with love and gratitude. We are so thrilled to have you journey with us and can't wait to share your stories. Join Sue O'Callaghan and Joanne Webb as we disrupt the theory that everyone has perfect lives.
Hi everyone, thanks for listening. You're back here with Pods with Posh and Pool, and today we are pleased to have with us Matt Senior, who is a business owner here in Devonport. He runs the local hardware store, Hammer Hardware. So hi Matt, welcome.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, enjoying the time off.
So we are now on week 2 of lockdown, and you had to close your hardware business with what, 2 days notice?
Yeah, we sort of saw it coming. We were hoping to be allowed to supply essential services, but in the end, the Mitre 10 group that we're backed by as a whole sort of said, no, that's enough. Sort of stemming off what happened with the warehouse, I suppose.
But what's going to happen for people out there who, like for instance, the other day, my toilet broke and I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, we managed to muddle something together, but what is going to happen for people out there who do have some emergency things in their house? Is there things in place for them?
Right, so I guess it's been a big sort of learning curve for everybody, and being privy to all the Mitre 10 discussions for the government has been really helpful for us. We're just getting to this week. Hopefully we'll have a list of essential services that the locals can purchase from us, but the store won't be opening. It'll be all through Facebook or phone. The way we deliver it's still being determined, but as soon as I know, you guys will know. It all comes from our head office, which are in contact with the government. So keep an eye on our Facebook page, basically.
So I guess, Matt, unlike other countries, we're slightly further behind in terms of the COVID virus. So we also went very quickly through the levels, didn't we? We went to level 4 very quickly. So we probably had less warning. What was that like in terms of impacting your business? And what was the reaction of the community to jump so quickly with a couple of days' notice only?
I guess the first thing was when it was made the 70-year-olds had to stay at home because most of our staff are above that and they were good vintage. They have a lot of knowledge and it's awesome to have them. So they all had to stay home. So that was like 3 or 4 of my staff members gone overnight. So I ended up doing, I think, 14 days straight without any time off. So that impacted my family. And then it sort of put the writing on the wall what was to come. At that stage, we didn't know whether or not we were going to keep trading right through. At that stage, I was thinking, hopefully we can for business purposes, but also a little bit worried because we had so many people in the shop. The virus was spreading and we potentially were helping the cause. So when Mitre 10 finally made the decision to shut everybody down, I was actually quite happy.
Because you had a certain direction, so there was no uncertainty after that, wasn't there? The certainty was we just had to shut down, so there was no two ways about it. So I suppose you had direction.
Yeah, it was that, but I didn't want to expose myself, my staff, or the public mingling in our shop because it is quite a tight shop, and the last couple of days were quite a little bit scary, I suppose. Everybody was washing their hands and masks and people picking up things and putting them down, and it would be a place that potentially could be spread. That was one side of it. The other side is with my family, if I had to keep on going there to work, I wouldn't be able to approach my ex-wife's bubble, and I wouldn't see my kids for how long, I don't know. So when it all shut down, we were all relieved. We had a couple of good days trading up to that, and then just shut the shop and went home, and everybody just sort of, like I'm sure most business partners did. Yeah.
I think it was a relief all round actually, and I think the government handled it really well. There was very clear, concise directions on what we needed to do. No arguing about it. It was just go straight down the line and do it. And you're right. So you were thinking of everybody's safety really, weren't you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of elderly as well. And, it's a bit of a shame because a lot of people, they come in for a chat with a coffee and they pat Frankie the dog and grab a plant or whatever. So that sort of thing we all miss. Everybody's missing the social interaction. Are under 70, but they're a bit older. So if they got it, it could be quite bad as well. So they're all happy to go home. I didn't really want them to come in and work. So yeah, shutting down was a relief in a way.
we don't understand the impact on business because we're the customer. And I think you've touched on a couple of really interesting points. One is that you had a lot of staff that were over 70 and suddenly you're left holding the baby. That's something I'd never considered before. What happens if you've got staff and you're left on your own? And secondly, actually, we all are so considering at the moment what it's like for our essential workers to be in that position where they are exposed to the virus. And it must be very frightening to be in a very small enclosed space and be stocking shelves or serving customers and being aware that actually we're told by Jacinda Ardern, aren't we? We're actually informed to think that everybody's carrying the virus. We have to approach it that we're carrying the virus. We are infectious, therefore we need to be careful. So therefore, for a business owner, you're thinking everybody coming in my shop is infectious, and how do you protect yourself? So it must be quite frightening at the moment for essential workers, do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be. But, along with working your normal day comes complacency for them as well. So they all have to be reminded by their employer or their manager or their boss on the floor that, hey, you guys are actually out there, but you also got to protect the public, because some of them just go through their motions and forget about it or don't wash their hands or whatever. It's tough for everybody, but they also could expose to other shoppers or customers, so they all need to be vigilant as well. It's a tough situation for all involved.
Are you having to keep up with rules and regulations on a daily basis? Is it a constant contact with them?
Yeah, pretty much. We had a conference call with almost 100 people the other day, which was quite interesting. Everyone had to mute their phones and they got asked if they wanted to share something or ask a question, but it just got out of control. So we're sort of breaking it down into smaller groups and try and be effective in our communications with everybody. Whilst we're with Mitre 10, they're like a massive entity compared to our small little Hammer Hardware. They've got their own set of rules. They're trading to essential services. They've got all the, facilities to be able to do deliveries with all their PPE, and they've got a lot of stock. We don't hold tons of stock. So that's one thing I'm concerned about. Hopefully I can get essential stuff down for everybody, but the amount of stock, I'm not sure what I can carry, what I should carry. So it's just, you have to bear with us. We'll do our best to get what you guys need.
I think because obviously Devonport, we are such a little local community here. And I know we've got quite a nice sized population, but we are at the end of the day very much are a community, aren't we? And I think like your regular customers will want to order from you and not the big hardware stores miles away. They will want to be coming to you, won't they? Yeah,
but the list that they can get from the big hardware stores and us is the same now. It's just whether or not I've got it in supply, because those big boys can order pallets of it and have it there ready, where if I bought 10 pallets of something, it wouldn't really work business-wise. So we'll do our best. And the list of essential services is sort of things like light bulbs and batteries, plumbing bits and pieces, tarpaulins, nails and screws, stuff like that. There's not going to be plants. Unfortunately, everyone wants plants, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because I came down, as we were chatting earlier, before you closed, and said, that I'd bought lots of spinach and broccoli, and now I've managed to put them in the garden and they're growing quite nicely. But I think when you're talking about, Mitre 10 and Hammer Hardware is such a village store. We always nip into New World. You're over the road. We can walk down. We meet people that we know there. And this time, I think, for me, certainly shows me the importance of connection, the importance of community. When we drive to these big mega stores or the big supermarkets, we don't have that sense of community. So you as a business are not providing just the purchases, the items that we need, but you're providing that sense of community. Do you feel that as a shop owner? Do you feel part of a community, that people know everybody and that you're supporting people in a social life, or supporting the elderly people to connect?
Yeah, absolutely. With the the startup of the garden centre, it's been awesome. Luckily, we got Sue over from Devonport Garden Centre, and she brought a whole trio, like so many people, gardeners. I didn't believe how many gardeners there are in Devonport. It's great, and people come and talk in the garden. Hopefully, in time, we can build it bigger, and it's a great service to provide to the community. And our shop is a focal point for a lot of people, and we love that,
So where from here do you go now, Matt? What's your plan? How are you putting in plans for when you do open? Or are you just literally living day by day at the minute?
It's day by day. Hopefully the essential services will kick off somehow. I mean, including that, it will be heaters and firewood and all that sort of things. People will start thinking about that soon. Going forward, a lot of things in the air at the moment. I mean, there's rentals to consider. Obviously the virus, where's that going to go? In an ideal world, we'll get a hold of this virus and they'll take us down to level 3. we're actively talking with the government right now to see what our shop would look like at level 3, be it 5, 10 people in the shop at once. Staff and PPE gear, might have to put up some splash guards, or what do you call them, for the counter. We don't know. So hopefully down to level 3, we'll get some rules. Maybe we're allowed to get plants when it comes to level 3. I don't know. But when we find out about all this, I'll post it all on Facebook and hopefully we'll get up going again.
Uncertainty, isn't there? I was listening to Jacinda yesterday and she was saying she wants everybody to know as much as she knows. She wants to put the information out there as quickly as possible. But if we get to the 2-week mark, we can't measure the stats and we can't look at community transmission. So I think that people are really feeling safe in her hands that the information is coming out. But as she said, there's such a level of uncertainty because we actually don't know what's going to happen. And I guess that's true around the world. In terms of staff, do you feel supported in the sense that the government is providing funding for wages? Or do you feel concerned that you're going to have to lay off staff? Do you feel quite secure in your position?
Well, look, for the next 12 weeks, yeah, because they've paid everybody for the next 12 weeks, right?
So has that taken a worry off your mind?
Absolutely it has. Yeah, of course. I think they've done a magnificent job. But there's always a flip side to a good thing. I mean, who's going to pay for all this? It's going to be our children, or is it going to be more tax? I don't know whether it's going to come back. But for right now, immediately, I think Jacinda's done a great job because all of us are just going, phew, give us time to breathe. We paid the staff. They've all gone home pretty happy. And I know all my staff will come back as soon as they can. They all love working down at Hammer Hardware. And I've got a lot of loyal customers that would like to say hello. But the initial thing from the government was also, of course, what else could they do? And I think a lot of businesses will agree with me that just giving that money to give to them so we can all just take a breath.
In New Zealand, we're quite used to having natural disasters shutting things down, aren't we? You think about the Christchurch earthquake and the devastation that's left after us with businesses that couldn't return. So I guess this is such a different situation. We've got a disaster on our hands, but the government have provided enough support that you are safe.
Let's see how long it goes for. And if everybody plays the rules, maybe we'll get on top of it and we'll be sort of a world leader in this, I think.
Well, I think we can't wait for Hammer Hardware to start being able to deliver again, because actually, as you just said all of that, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm probably going to need a big load of firewood at some point, because as soon as the weather changes here in New Zealand, it really changes, doesn't it? I mean, our summer has been extended, so we've been very grateful and thankful to that. But you're right, there will be people out there who will be wanting their heaters and their firewood probably very soon. So we look forward to all the things being in place for you to start being able to do some deliveries, and hope that goes.
Yeah, so hopefully that will be all ready to go. It'll only be me, so I'll do my best because we only have one person. So I'll be taking all the orders. I'll be chucking into my truck and coming around and delivering it to you all. That's a meeting I've got in half an hour. So I've got another meeting by 10. So this is all the rules around how we deliver, what we can deliver, and how people order, and how do they pay us, and all this sort of stuff. So it's not going to be full throttle Hammer Hardware by any means, but we'll do what we can to get goods to people that need them.
You'll be like Santa Claus for the people of Devonport. You'll be, won't you? Be like Father Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I'll try.
Really great to touch base with you. As you know, Joe and I live in Devonport, the same village that you have your shop in. So it's lovely to touch base, see where you're at, and actually provide information to the community who I also know are really keen to know updates from various different businesses and what's going on. So thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck with your pursuit for getting essential worker status, and we look forward to you reopening again soon.
Yeah, awesome. You guys are doing a great job. I think it's important we all come together and talk about times like this, So hopefully we'll learn out of this, humanity going to come back together rather than against each other.
Hear, hear.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much for being with us today. For us to inspire others to live their magnificently imperfect life, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or on your podcast app. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Pods with Posh and Pool. We can't wait for you to join us on our next episode. Love, light and peace.